Hmm. Okay. I'm out here in between the walnut and cherry orchards, and I'm going to tell a story about an encounter that I had in the 70s. It was a sunny day. I remember the direction I was heading. I don't remember what I was carrying, but I know I was carrying some type of a gun, a long gun. And I was busting through real thick brush, real thick. It was manzanita. It's really, it grabs a hold of you because it busts off into sharp edges, and it'll grab a hold of you. Well, this stuff I was busting through with the gun up over my head, and all of a sudden, I ran into something solid. Boom. And then I realized that this was something that was constructed, and I was looking at it from the outside. I didn't realize how far it went, or I realized how it was shaped right in front of me, but by the time I gathered to myself that I was looking at something that was built out in the middle of frickin' nowhere. Not out in the middle, but I mean in the middle of a hard place to get to. Well, by the time I realized that, from my left, I hear something just stomping, stomping on the ground, just on the other side of whatever this is that I ran into. And it's coming towards me from the left, and I'm like, oh, I mean, your heart just goes instant to beating real hard. And right when it got right in front of me, inside of this place, it stomped and huffed and boom, boom, as it's going out. Well, the whole time as it's coming, I hear this click, 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 clack, clack, clack. Something dragging on this structure that I see. What it is it's an entryway, is what it is. An entry tube. Well, I don't realize it at that time. But I mean, I heard that thing go on out to my right, and then I didn't hear it no more. And if I didn't say I was scared, I'd be lying, because I was very scared with a gun in my hand. Because I have no idea what it was to this day. I have an idea, but people say you're crazy if your ideas don't conform to what the scientists tell you scientists tell you what's sane and what's not. I've had many strange encounters over my life that I remember. They're burned into my brain and I'll never ever forget. There's just no way to forget it. And I could tell you every one to I'll tell you today, you ask, you listen to them, you pick out a piece of every story and you try to twist it all up. Make me look stupid. And ask me these questions. If this goes to this story and if this goes to that story. Because there's quite a few of them. If I'm lying, it'd be really easy to catch somebody who was lying. If they was telling you that this happened and then it happened this time, and then give you details of what happened each time, and then you tell you back, and then you ask, you take your time to figure out how to make me look like a liar with it. Then you start asking me questions about it. See if I'm a liar, or see if you're just uninformed. I've been in the woods since I was a little boy. When I was a little boy, I'm 9 years old, I was toting batteries, freaking ammo behind coon hunters, bear hunters, lion hunters. As a boy, I was 9 years old. I was a tote goat. We used D batteries and big square 6-volt batteries, and I've seen everything that was in the woods as a boy. I walked flumes as a boy. Walked flumes in the night. Big old long flumes that hang freaking, there's 200 foot below you. You walk through an old wooden flume. Chasing dogs. With no GPS. You use your ears to find your dogs. And these stories and these incidents stand out to me. They stand out. And I can tell you the direction I was moving. And every one, I can tell you the time of the day. I can tell you whatever you want to know about it. And then I can retell you that same thing 2 years later. And I'm close enough to where my maker is going to be talking to me, and I don't want to be lying about it. That's for sure. I don't want to embarrass my grandkids, but I also don't want to just ignore what happened to me, what I seen, what I experienced. Okay, now I'll go and tell you about how the couple of days later I went back to that place. Well, it took me a couple of days to get the courage back up to go back there. And when I did, the place was empty. There wasn't nothing there. Now, I'm not saying it didn't have time to hear me coming and get out of there quiet again, but I'm not saying it was there the second time. But when I got there and I got to where I found the place and I worked my way down to where I heard it disappear to, I found an entry. And it looked like a cave made out of tree branches and manzanita branches. It was all weaved. It looked like, if you could picture in your mind a whale skeleton, kinda, but just filled in solid, like a solid whale skeleton. And it was probably maybe 6 foot tall. With the way the ground was inside of it was it was cleared in the center and brushed off to the side on the bottom of the what I would call ribs. And when I got inside, you could barely see outside in places. I mean, you could barely see. And the dirt was like compost. It was like crazy cool dirt inside. And it was all padded out. I didn't look for footprints because I was never thinking of footprints, because what I thought had happened was I thought that was a big buck that came out that day. I was thinking it was a big old monster buck. dragging his horns on the ceiling as he was coming out. That's where my mind was. So I go back there and I work my way around to where that thing disappeared, and I find that entry, and I'm walking in, and then I notice that I can't see the end where this thing comes out. I'm noticing that it's got a curve to it to where something could be standing down there and I wouldn't know it until I walk around this curve. And I was pretty apprehensive because I thought some feral human built the place or something. I was not thinking of anything else at that time. But I thought there was a big buck that had used the place as a shelter, because it was a shelter. It was a cave out of, and I'm going to guess that it was 25 foot, 30 foot long, but it was curved. And you could not stand in where it ended and where it began. You could not see the end. You had to go quite a ways in there and stand up against the wall to see around, which I did when I was coming back in there. Anyhow, once I walked through the entry, it came into a big circle. There was a big circle of dead manzanita and stuff stood up in a circle around this place. It was stood up with purpose. It was obvious what it was. It was camouflaging this place. Now I testify in the court. I swear on a affidavit. I let any kind of lie detector test be took on what I'm saying. Okay. Inside the big circle was a dead ponderosa pine. I mean, it was a 4 foot. It was a tree that it would take probably 3 people to get their arms around. And it was dead. It was right in the center of this nest. I'll call it a nest. It was round, and I don't know. But the funny thing was that there was, as I'm looking around, I'm like, well, I'm going to see a candy wrapper somewhere, or a beer can. Nope. No beer cans, no candy wrappers. But what I did find was a lot of yellow tree, yeah, Bob. Beware, man. But this thing had yellow tree lichen scattered around everywhere, and there was some on the ponderosa pine, but I believe that yellow stuff is really important to the ones around in my area where I'm at, because I've seen that. This is where I'm talking about is 2,200, 2,400 foot elevation. I'm talking mountain ranch, Bob. You know where that's at. That's where I found it. But this thing was, and then over the years, I said, okay, there was a big buck in there, and when I was in there, I looked with my flashlight, and I found scrape marks where I thought that my whole life I thought it was a damn buck coming out of there, clack, 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 on the ceiling, but it wasn't. Yes, you do. Yeah. Actually, it's up off of Whiskey Slide Road, up towards, up towards, oh hell, Doster Farm. Actually, it's about probably less than a mile from Doster Farm. I knew old Brian Doster, the old man that owned the place. He was friends with Howard Hughes, friends with frick. Well, the Duke, of course. The Duke hang around up there, off of Whiskey Slide Road too. Him and what's his name is his stuntman. Yeah, his stuntman. What's his name? Canutt. Yeah, I partied with some of the Canutts. I seen some of the Duke's guns. I actually used to feed. I used to feed one of the Duke's last white horse he ever owned. Right after he died, because it was stalled up there, and I used to feed it. But yeah, that place right there, man, is really whoa. What I know now, because as a kid, when we were coon hunting in there, up by more like, you know where the M24 ranch is, before you get into Mount Ranch, before you come down the grade there. As a boy back in there, we used to coon hunt, and I came on something there that I never forgot from like 50 years ago. As a boy following the adults, you know, I was way behind, of course, because they were trying to keep up with the dogs. But I seen some bad things there, man. In that house, it was a home. There was no deer in there because a deer could not get in and out of there. A deer couldn't have run out of there like that was. So my deduction is that it was some type of a being with some kind of a stick or a club. Oh man, if the creatures don't get you, the people will. See, my family's always had property up off of Whiskey Slide Road since I can remember. Since I'm a little kid, they had property up there. My wife's family had property up there. It's people don't talk about it. If they see something, they don't say nothing. They don't really care because most of them are illegally prospecting. You know, they're mining because that place has got a lot of gold, man. But and I used to go up there, and I didn't think nothing about going down there and turning my back to whatever. No, I'm down in the valley. I'm down in Stockton. I'm out near Hammer and 99. I'm in a cherry orchard that's behind my place. Walnut orchard, cherry orchard. But see, I want to get up there, man, but I'm afraid to go by myself anymore. I don't want to take my dog and get her hurt. But I don't want to go. I want to go to the canyon where the last place I was going, I got ran out of by these things. Up by Columbia and the Stanislaus. Up near Yosemite, like near the northeast boundary of Yosemite, up there in the granite and stuff. that's where I was going, and that's when I went that's when I had my epiphany that I'm in real danger out here, man. I don't have to worry about the people as much as these things. That was hell. That was 2015. Really? Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's really cool right here because I can go out my back gate. Priest grade, where? That name's familiar, but sometimes the locals have different names for shit. You mean coming out of Mountain Ranch, going up, right when you're coming out of the town, and you go past the old turkey farm and all that stuff, and you're weaving your way around the where you can go over to the Moaning Caves or whatever, or you go on up the hill, and then you peak that top, and then when you're going down or happen to come back up that in the snow is a motherfucker. See, the place was a lot different in the 60s and the 70s. It was heck of different. Oh, Groveland? Is that? Oh, no, I don't think I was talking about Groveland. Where's that? Is that north or south of me? Oh, you mean, oh. Huh. Yeah, about 12 hours. No, it's probably my streaming stuff's all messed up, man, because I have to stream through something else because I can't stream from my channel. I don't have enough subs. But, if you're talking about, yeah, that's cool. From Germany, though. Anyhow, the cool thing is that over there on the stand on. Oh, okay. No, I'm talking more like Columbia, northeast boundary, kinda. It's not right on the boundary. Oh shit! Dropped a cigarette butt. Cannot do that. But it's near the northeast boundary. It's all granite. Not all granite, but there's a lot of granite and the same type of terrain. It's the same type of terrain as Yosemite. The Stanislaus. I'm not sure which branch. They empty into the Maloney's though. But I've seen very strange things in that canyon, and I've been going there since I was a little boy because my whole family was into hunting for gold. We all watched gold since I can remember, and we all hunted since I can remember. Yes, yeah. There's big, giant patches of granite, and it's the same. It's right near Yosemite. I mean, a guy could set out from there in one day and get to Yosemite, I'm pretty sure. Maybe a couple of days, I don't know. But one of those things wouldn't have a hard time getting there. and it would be a place to get to at a lower elevation for them. It's more, but I had one come up on me in September of 11. September 11. Oh man. And to get down in that canyon, you got to go down that long Italian Bar Road. That's the road. It's down there to the Italian Bar Mining Association down there. Yeah. If I told you the things that I've seen in there, you wouldn't believe me. That's where they ran me out of, because I was pretty sick. I got real freaking sick for a while, and then they sent me home to die, and I got myself better, and I got to watching this guy on the YouTube. He was a metal detector, right? He only metal detect, but I like this character, and I watch him, and I'd see him go to these places, man, where I just wanted to. And he was in Sacramento, right? He was going above Sacramento. I'm thinking, man, come on, man, let me go hit these. Yep, Italian Bar, yep. Yeah, and this guy would go and he would pass over these streams that I know got gold in them, and I know where to find the gold, and he was like, oh, there's nothing here. So I got to challenging him, and it got me to go and I decided myself I was going to go find enough gold to make all the women folk in my family a cross out of freaking gold that I found in the stream. It's not been sold or bargained for. It's virgin gold. Well, that's what I was doing when these things come after me. And I mean, seemed to me they were trying to run me out, because that's exactly what they did. And that's been 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And that's when I realized these suckers were real, and all that stuff I seen back then was just me, talking it away, saying it's something I know that's out there that I know about. Well, no, it was not. It was not. There's something out there that's just as smart as us, and it's got a lot more capabilities than us, and I'm convinced at times they don't care if you know that they're there, because that's the way this one acted. The one that's, well, actually it was 2 different occasions that they let me know that they was there without me seeing them, and let me know they didn't care that I know that they was there. And that was enough for me. I didn't tell no one when it first started happening down there, because I wanted to catch something on video, because as soon as it happened, I went to get on the YouTube and looking for people. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna find some answers on here, because look at all these people on here. And well, I would tell you this, I wasted a lot of damn time watching YouTube videos, that's for sure. And I'd get mad at people because I thought they was lying to me. And, they tell me they've seen this or seen that. And next thing I know, other people saying, well, he done this and he done that. And, man, and then you go to somebody else and then you find out the same thing. It's like, frig, man, I just pulled my hair out and forgot about it. And I just say, I'm going to tell the stories that I know about it. And if somebody learns something, that's that. If somebody learns something from it, then hey, because that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to learn because it scared me into a primal. I was as scared as I've been in any time in my life, and I've been into some strange things that make people fold, but this made me feel like nothing else in the world. Nothing. There's a fear, because I realized that this thing could have killed me. It slipped and fell and made noise. Is why in my mind it didn't carry me off somewhere, because it got real close in a deceptive manner. And man, that's a whoo. That makes you think. Do I really want to go back out there and spend the night by myself again and again and again like I've done? Should I've done? Bella, what are you doing? But that's no good. That's no good. I can't find no victims. I mean, people to go with me that I can outrun. Nobody wants to go. I told Brown Dwarf, because he travels the freaking world looking for something, told him he could find something here. And if he'll stay down there all night, I'll stay down there all night. And I think they're really active in the September here. September until, well, late November. I think that's when they're, because that's when I want to do shit. I think they're the same way as us. Sleeping outside, huh? Yeah. Well, hell, man, I slept in my vehicle, but it's just I was there by myself, and oh man, I wouldn't sleep outside up there. I used to love to sleep outside, but you know, there's no reason to. If I got a vehicle sitting there that I can lay down in, that's where I'm sleeping. But I'll tell you what, I didn't feel safe laying in the middle of that vehicle with 357 in my hands. I didn't feel safe. Knock it off, Bill. Thank you. Because when it hit the water, I knew that whatever it was big enough. It sounded like somebody threw a VW in the water. Knock it off, girl. That place was haunted because of the 49ers done some bad things to people down in there. Sometimes you can hear you can hear stuff echoing in the canyon down there. It's really strange. And I've seen, well, oh man, that's scary to think about. See, that was my feeling. That was my feeling when that happened. When my epiphany come and I said, no more, I'm not going back there. That was all it could go. That was all that was going through my mind from when I'm a kid. Every freaking incident. Then I realized why I remember every incident to the point to where I can tell you which direction I was going. Now, how do you explain that? In 50 years, I can tell you what direction I was going the night when I was a boy and when I was hunting and following everybody, when I seen something strange over there by the M24 ranch. Back in there, it was actually Hosey land, Josie's, the sheepers back in there. But back in the 60s, they allowed us to go in there and get all the lions and the mountain lions and the cats and the lions and the coons. We could go in there and get all we wanted. And it was thousands, I don't know how many thousand acres in there. From Mountain Ranch Road coming in there, and then west off of that road, that whole place. We went in there on the dirt roads, and have a dog out on the freaking right front tire until the dog strike a hot track, and then boom, it's off to the races. And there was an endless supply of everything in there. When they made us stop killing lions, there was plenty of lions left. Right. I'm guessing the weirdest thing that I ever seen was when I was in probably 9 or 10 in 1969 or 1970. And that was near the town of Mountain Ranch. Well, it's not near. That's the closest town, but more over towards the Murray Creeks. Between the Murray Creek and which comes into Mountain Ranch, I'm pretty sure. But I saw something that was standing amongst about probably close to 15 coyotes. I'm guessing 15, but there could have been more. I'm trying to not stretch anything about it. It was whatever it was very big, and it was cold. You could see your breath like I can see mine right now at night, and I was a quarter mile at least behind adults, and they're going down at a gentle slope away from me, and it's a real grassy area with manzanita patches here and there darted around. And as I'm going, because when you're behind, you're always surrounded by coyotes. When I was a kid, I was constantly surrounded by coyotes on any hunt, no matter where. There would always be 5 or 6 coyotes around me. So I was used to it. It didn't scare me at all. And I knew if I let it scare me and I let them adults get out of my sight, that it was going to be bad. So I'd just go wherever I had to go. It didn't matter what was there. So this big gathering of coyotes, man. I'm like, wow. I'm shining my light around trying to count them, right? And my light, and then I hit my light hits a manzanita bush, and then I notice, and I'm like, what the hell is that cloud? There's a cloud behind this manzanita bush, and then I'm thinking, wow, there's a fire right there, because there's what it looks like to me is smoke rising. And then I realize there's this big lathery freaking thing, and it's kind of like got a big round back, like it's bent over, whatever it is. Like it's either something that's supposed to be standing up and it's bent over, and its back's really fucking rounded, and I can see its ribs, and I can see it's like when a cow licks its fur. What its fur looks like, and it's all steaming. Everything's steaming off of this thing, but there's a real big pile of steam coming from where the head would be. And all these freaking coyotes are standing around, man, just looking at me. And there's coyotes standing by the manzanita bush that this thing's standing over behind. Now, I don't know. In my mind, I must have just said, well, they've chased a freaking steer, or there's buffaloes. People keep buffalo up a lot of, you never know. But whatever it was huge. Now, I'd say if it was standing up, whatever it was, it'd be like, who knows? Way over, because it was like 10 foot long, the bent part that I seen. It was huge, and it looked skinny. It looked like it was, skinny, and it looked like it had a cow. But The color was kind of gray, reddish gray color. Now, my only thinking is, and this is probably 1969, 1970. My only thinking is maybe that was one of them freaking dogman things that they talk about. But, this is only a mile away from, or so, as a crow flies from where I found that freaking den, that nest in the late 70s or middle 70s. So there you go. Now you got two freaking stories out of me. Those are in the same area. But the ones in the canyon over by Columbia, those aren't really that far from Mountain Ranch, not as a crow flies, or as a beast could freaking run along the side of a ridge or the side of through the foothills. So what do you think of that? Should I tell anybody that story? Already did, huh? I'm gonna get off this thing, man. I've had you on here for 42 minutes of your life. My dog's impatient. She want to go home. Oh, coyotes are going off. Shoot, I don't even know what direction I'm standing right now. Yeah. Bob, man, thank you so much for coming over here, man, and listening. I'm gonna put out my stories so I don't have to watch my kids' eyes roll when I tell them anymore. I'll put them on here, and then and maybe somebody who's interested in looking. Yeah. Oh dang, my phone's going dead. Well, thanks, man. Oh, delay lock. Yeah, man, my phone just told me that it's about to run out, and I'll do this, man. I'm gonna tell all of them, and then I want someone to listen to them, and then I want someone to prove me that it's trying to trip me up. So, but I appreciate you spending your time, man. That's really cool. Absolutely, man. We do that. I might be able to even get us some slave labor. Yeah, go. Yeah, man. We will do that. I know some places, but we gotta have heads up all the time, man. We gotta be watching each other's back the whole damn time, but there's gold there. Huh. Frig, man, where's my road? Can't find my road. Oh, there's my road. See, I'm in the old tree orchard. Some good trees, man. And that's that dang debris pile. And there's some good wood in here too. I can see some gun stocks. Look at this. Look at this thing. All right. Look at that. Waste. Okay, big dog. All right, man. Good night. Thanks for coming by, man. I'm gonna do them stories. Yeah, I found it. I found it. My dog would have got me home anyway. All right, man. Good night. Get over here, man. We'll find shiny and gorillas. Hell, we'll find some monkeys out there too. We'll get a gang going. Because we'll need everybody. But the only thing is, man, is you got more people is the less gold you get to keep. Later, bro.